us out this morning. You can see our big board. We got a lot of video, a lot of things that are happening all around the city and the country. Robert, though, we want to talk about some video that's not live. It's some images that were released by the NYPD, had to do with a shooting that happened recently, police-involved shooting. And the circumstances leading up to it are what's really at the heart of this discussion now. Can you sort of pick it up from there?
Yeah, 9 days ago, Jamaica Hills, Queens, police get a call from, they say a civilian. We don't know if it's a family member of this man, Jabez Chakraborty, but he's a 22-year-old who's having some kind of a mental health episode.
Okay.
The caller is requesting an ambulance. He or she is hoping that he gets basically involuntarily taken to the hospital in this ambulance.
Okay.
So what we'll see is the NYPD response. 2 officers initially came to the house and responded to that emergency call requesting an ambulance.
Okay. And a shooting does take place, and so we've played portions of this video. People may have seen it, but the NYPD did release the entire sort of like minute 20, minute 5.
About a minute and 5 seconds.
Minute 5 seconds interaction. So let's play that in its entirety, and then we'll talk about it, particularly the mayor's response to it. Let's go ahead and play it.
Shucks. Ever since I've been watching videos, I don't stand by the door no more, bro. Yes. How you doing?
Are you called?
You called?
Yes.
You coming?
Yes.
Oh
Sorry,
my gosh.
sorry.
No, you're fine. You're fine.
Baba, no!
Hey, put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Move! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Put the knife down! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Drop the knife! Shots fired! Shots fired!
All right, so that's the wow. That's the minute 5. So
Intense.
I hadn't seen that video before. They arrive at the scene and it escalates. I mean, it's a minute. It's a minute 5 seconds, start to finish, from when they walk in and the shots were fired. But let's add a little context here, because they were called out for that individual there, Jabez Chakraborty. So his family says that he is a schizophrenic, potentially having some kind of episode. He comes out, and there is another version of this video where you can see what he has in his hand. It's a knife. It's a big knife. That looks like kind of like the kitchen butcher's knife kind of thing.
Which he might have just picked up right there in that moment.
Right.
I don't, they didn't say if he had it on him for several minutes, or maybe he was just in the kitchen, just grabbed it and walked out with that.
Didn't seem like it was part of the initial call.
Correct.
Right, that he's here with a knife and yada yada, because they didn't have that. This is a slow-mo video.
And you can see it highlighted, the red
Right.
circle around the knife. And yes, the initial call was, "Hey, we'd like an ambulance to take our son to the hospital. He's having this schizophrenic episode." He had just thrown a glass against a wall. So the family wanted to get him some help.
When families have a family member who does have an illness like schizophrenia, if they're taking their medication, often it's something that can be controlled. But if they're, for some reason, not taking the medication, it's not working, or maybe it is, and they have these episodes, sometimes it can be benign, sometimes it's not that bad, but then it can be violent as well. And that's what it looks like here.
Well, and that's what is so difficult about domestic calls like this. You never know when they're going to go south. This could have just been a benign call. Couple officers show up. It ends fine. They take him to the hospital, or maybe they don't. But instead, it devolves into this within seconds, and we'll transition into the mayor. But that's what's so difficult about the mayor's position about wanting to establish this Department of Community Safety in concert with police. When do you have them respond to the call instead of or in addition to police when you just can't predict how these calls are going to go?
So let's talk about the mayor's response here, because this happened 9 days ago. And within a day, 24 hours, 48 hours or so, the mayor did put out a statement where essentially he was saying it's the type of situation that officers have to deal with when they're in, these sort of high stake situations, and was more complimentary, sympathetic to the officers.
Correct. He took some criticism from kind of his progressive supporters
Right.
and also the family who thought that he was too supportive of
The
the
officers,
police officers without showing sympathy for Chakraborty.
Maybe he hadn't seen the video yet. We don't know. But then he, apparently I heard a report, he spent time with the family over the weekend.
Visited him in the hospital because he survived. Chakraborty survived this, had surgery, and the mayor went to go visit him. Yes, spent some time with his family, and then the mayor saw the video that we just showed you,
Okay.
and he spoke to reporters about it yesterday before the video was released, so before the public had.
But he had seen it.
Yes.
And so at that point, he doesn't criticize the officers at all. But he says that this is a reason for them to move forward more quickly, the government that is, with his new initiative to create a new department in its entirety that could help respond to situations like that. Can you pick it up from there?
Sure. So he wants the Department of Community Safety to respond to some of these emergency
And that
calls.
doesn't exist yet. The Department
Does
of
not
Community
exist
Safety
yet.
does not exist.
And he still has been pretty vague about what calls they would and wouldn't respond to. And the biggest question for me is, okay, something like this. Let's say the Department of Community Safety existed when the family made this call. Hey, our son is having an emotional episode. Can you bring him to the hospital?
Yeah.
Would that just be a Department of Community Safety response, or would that be a police response as well? You don't know.
Both, right.
How do you know he's armed or not?
Or if they get there,
Or if they
see
get
them-
there and then he grabs a knife
and
while
then
they're there.
And then they call the police, right? The mayor talked about it, right? Let's listen to what the mayor had to say.
Jabez has lived with schizophrenia for many years, and this situation underscores just how urgently we need a different and more effective mental health response system that will be safer for New Yorkers. Jabez needs mental health treatment, not criminal prosecution by a district attorney. And that is why I proposed creating a Department of Community Safety to build a mental health system rooted in prevention, in sustained care, and real crisis response, so officers no longer have to handle these situations alone. And when there is a violent situation, such as with a weapon, NYPD will be on the scene.
So the Department of Community Safety would deploy trained mental health professionals, crisis responders. Certain calls theoretically could involve police, but it's important to note that these officers didn't show up with the knowledge, or at least you could tell. I mean, sometimes when they know that there's an armed suspect on the other side of the door, you're not going to walk in with the cordial sort of talking this and that and this. And the woman who answered the door didn't warn them that, hey, look, he picked up a knife and you guys should know. I mean, there was none of that. It seemed like it escalated so quickly.
Looked like she didn't know, because you could see at the beginning of the video where she kind of beseeches him to like, no, or whatever. You could hear her pleading with him at the beginning before then he brings out the knife. And that just illustrates how fluid these situations are. Does someone grab a knife, a broomstick, a gun, just in the course of a few seconds? Maybe it's not part of the initial call, but it escalates into that.
I don't want to ask you a question if you don't know the answer, but I'm going to ask you a question anyway. Do you know where things stand with the creation of this new department? It seems like when those things happen, they kind of go on this PR blitz a little bit, where you kind of get the word out that this is what we're doing, and you do a couple media interviews. We know it's on the agenda for the mayor, but at this point, there's no proposal before the city council.
No,
right, or something
no,
like that.
it's and we don't even. He hasn't laid out, as far as I can tell, a number. How many health professionals would
How
this
much
be?
it'll cost, things like
How much it'll cost? At this point, the status of the investigation is the Force Investigation Division is looking into this shooting, which
yeah.
is standard.
Right.
Anytime an officer discharges his or her weapon or someone is injured in a shooting like this,
It's standard procedure.
it's standard
for the
procedure.
officer.
So it's we can look at the video and say, wow, it can look obvious one way or another, but until that investigation is complete, we just can't say if Officer White, whose body camera you see here, if he was justified in firing or not.
All right. Well, maybe this will spur the creation of this this new initiative even sooner. Robert Moses, thank you very much.